So, hello everyone, and welcome to our decision-making strategies. It's the fourth webinar of our female leadership series that has been organized in collaboration between EIT Women and EIT Health Alumni Network. And today we will talk about how to make impactful decisions. So first of all, who are we exactly? The European Institute of Technology is separated in different KICs like EIT Health and EIT Women. And inside the different KICs, we have different organizations like EIT Health Alumni. So now my colleague will talk about the EIT Women.
Hello, everyone. We at EIT Women, we are a community that was created and nurtured throughout the years by students and alumni from all the EIT KICs. We are very cross-KIC community as well, since we are having some digital, some raw material students and alumni. So we kind of have of all. And our goal is to empower all these people within our community to become better leaders, better innovators, and better business women. So this is our current board team. However, this is not only who women at EIT is, because we're also having a lot of local leaders that are helping us to bring some events and value to our community. So here you only see the few of us that we are in the main team. What we have created so far, we have actually already organized 30 plus events in many different locations, especially before the pandemic. And we already organized two leadership intensive series where we were looking for and actually having new local leaders joining our community. Currently, we are having 20 local leaders and they are all separate in separate countries across Europe especially, but in every other place as well. And our network currently on social media constitutes of high numbers actually, and we are very proud of these, that we are having a huge community on Facebook, especially on LinkedIn, and in our newsletter and Slack as well. And I want to also mention here a news, especially regarding how you can join us, that so far you could join us by joining an event or reaching out to us to get some support from our side or to represent us as local leaders, which we are every year organizing the Seek for Local Leaders in late autumn. But now we are opening positions in our board. So if you are interested to join us and be super involved in organizing events and keeping up with this community, then stay tuned, because we are going to also announce it in our social media that we are opening positions and we are looking for women for the team, basically for the boarding team. And I'm looking forward to meeting new people in the team also.
Thank you very much, Aleta. So as for the EIT Health Alumni, we are a multidisciplinary community for innovators that build the future of healthcare, and our slogan is by alumni for alumni. So what do we offer to our members of our community? We offer trainings, networking, teaching, co-creation, and even jobs inside our community. And our mission is actually to support the EIT Health by building an active network of alumni dedicated to activities to improve quality of life, active aging, and healthcare across Europe. As for our vision, we are envisioning to become the leading European Association of Health, social and life sciences professionals, entrepreneurs, innovators, and executives. So right now we have our amazing platform that has more than 2,000 members, and all of this platform has all the opportunities and events that we have been organizing, which are more than 50 per year, and just this year we have been making more than 20 in the beginning. So you have here some of our highlighted events like this one, leadership series, but also we have the Talk to Walk and starting in the Netherlands. As for the other part of our platform, you can actually get hired by our platform, as we constantly are posting jobs. And right now, actually, we have also positions in our EIT Health UK members. So if you are eager to be part of the EIT Health, you are more than welcome. And of course, by being part of this event, you are more than welcome to join our community. In the end of this presentation, we will have our QR codes, so please feel free to join us. And here you can meet our board team, which who are actually leading the whole community, and of course our local representatives, which are the people that actually work really hard to create these opportunities and events. So now please welcome Giulia Marzetti, who is our speaker today, and she will speak about the decision-making strategies. She is a policy officer from European Commission, and I am very happy to have you here, Giulia. Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Liana. Hello, everyone. I'm going to be sharing my presentation now. Yep. You should be able to see it now, correct? Yes, okay, yes. Great. So Liana already introduced me, but I'm just going to be saying that I'm an engineer by background. I'm actually a former women IT local leader as well. And I'm doing this in my private capacity, and I'm a speaker, trainer, and moderator on topics such as sustainable development, sustainable cities, and of course, gender equality, which is a huge part in my life. So I'm very grateful for you today joining me for this decision-making workshop. So maybe, maybe we can start by introducing yourself in the chat. So like, it will be a very interactive workshop. Like, please do write in the chat whenever you feel like it, and if you want to take the floor at some point, just put it in the chat, and we'll give you the floor. So every day we make hundreds of decisions, from what we wear to what we eat, what means of transport to take at work. And also we make very important decisions. And actually what makes a difference between a good life and a great life is the quality of your decisions. And also your decisions can shape the quality of leader you are. And that's why making effective decisions is very important. So to start, I'll ask you a question. Does everyone know why Obama wears, or used to wear, well, when he was president, used to wear predominantly blue suits or black suits? Do you have any idea? And I'd just like to say that probably that wasn't a keep cup, but will forgive me for now. Exactly, Sophia, that's correct. It's to avoid decision fatigue. So people in a high position of power try to avoid decision fatigue, which is when you're using your complex brain capabilities to choose what to watch on Netflix, and you just spend tons of time scrolling through Netflix, or what to wear in the morning, or what to eat at lunch, or that decision that you can routinize them through your morning routine, or through your routine, you can externalize them. And that's very important. We want to avoid decision fatigue. And we want our brain to concentrate only on very important decisions, like where to go for the next job, etc. So basically, science has found that we make decisions not based on our goals and or objectives, but most of the time, and I'm talking about 90% of the time here, we make decisions based on our feelings, on how we feel at the time of when we make the decision. And effectively, that's what's happening at the moment of your decision. So the moment of your decision is the tip of the iceberg. And then underneath the iceberg, so the 90%, there are your emotion and moods, your cognitive processes, that's what's going on in your brain. So like your thinking patterns. If you're, for example, are more natural about optimist or a pessimist, etc. your motivation, your self-management, so how well you can control your emotion and how well you can relate to other people's emotion, your thoughts, your behaviors and habits, your values, and your life experience. So it could be that, for example, you're associating that moment of a decision with something negative, and then the outcome of that decision, most likely it'll be a negative outcome for you. And we want to avoid that. And to avoid that, that's why we have asked you to get to know yourself a bit better before coming here. And we'll share with you the Myers-Briggs test. So I'd like you to share in the chat what type of Myers-Briggs test you are. If you've done the test, if you've done it before, and then we can have a little bit of a small discussion if that has helped you on knowing something new about yourself, for example. And so that we can start the group discussion. Okay, Sandra is part of the protagonist. I guess you're an extroverted then. Yeah, an ISPP. Okay, I'll give you, hopefully you have learned a lot about this already, but I'll give you a bit of background. The Myers-Briggs test maps your personality across 4 different characteristics. Probably you already know whether you are introverted or an extroverted. So introverted want to tend to draw energy from being with themselves, where extroverted tends to draw energy by being with people. And an important characteristic of the Myers-Briggs test for us today is actually the judgment, which is how you make decisions. And thinking personalities tend to be more objective and rational. They value efficiency over cooperation, whereas feeling personality, they tend to relate quite well with the other people's emotions. So they prioritize emotion, and they value cooperation over efficiency. So there are a lot of protagonists here, or commanders or leader, which is quite interesting. Is an interesting group. Yeah, so did anyone knew this about before coming today, for example? Or did you find it out before coming? Many people say yes. It's good. Okay, good. There are a lot of INFP. Actually, I'm an INTP, which is quite common in the engineers. So today it seems that no one is an INTP, which is totally fine. It's actually a rare breed. But I like to mention 2 things. Actually, the Myers-Briggs test can vary based on your life experiences. And maybe now that we are in lockdown and we tend to stay a bit more with ourselves, and some people tend to become more introverted. And the second thing is that it's very important to know yourself, to know when you are your best to do your decisions. So for example, I'm slightly more introverted, and I know that that if I spend a lot of time with people and I spend a lot of energy with people and I make a decision, then I know that the decision is not going to be good. So that's why we want to avoid that. And it's good that we understand how we think and when we are at our best. So it seems that everyone here knew it pretty much. So I'm happy that for some of you stay stable, actually. And now we're going to pass on to the other question you had for today, which was, what is an unfinished business you have? So some of you may have thought about it. It can be very personal. So I'm not asking you to share. We're going to be moving into breakout rooms. But I'd like to think about this unfinished business you have. And if you want, you can share. And also how you make decisions in general. So I know we kind of don't have a blueprint, of course, but do you have a kind of process to make decision already? Do you make them on a whim? You ponder, you double think on it, you triple think. And before moving into breakout rooms, I like to share with you something that's an important decision I had to make. And that was my unfinished business. So about 4 years ago, I was faced by 2 job offers, and one was in Australia and the other one was in Japan. And at the time I was living in London and I already had a job. I was quite established in my company. And I I didn't really know how to go about it, to be honest. And I also visited both Japan and Australia, and I knew both companies that were offering the job. So I kind of knew already what I was going toward, but still, it was a very tough decision. So right now, I'd like you to, we're going to be split up in breakout rooms, and we're going to talk about, if you want to share your unfinished business or something you want to share about your decision-making skills, etc., and how you make decisions. So we're going to be going to breakout rooms for about 8 minutes, and then we can come back and share our thoughts.
I didn't have a baby or a family. I was free. Okay, sorry.
I think everyone is back. Yeah, probably. So thank you for coming back. Maybe is anyone wants to share anything about how you make decisions so far, or maybe a big decision you want to share as well, if you want to. No need to. You can take the floor.
Well, I can try. I mean, how I take decisions so far. I first try to understand the situation and to see my point of view. And then I love to talk to different people to see their point of view, and gathering all this information, and at the end trying to figure out what is actually what sounds good for me or what feels good for me.
Sorry. Oh, thank you, Sandra, for sharing. Anyone else?
Yeah, so I think we were all in our breakout room pretty similar in our decision making, I would say, although we were different like personality types, but we all kind of listen to our gut. But also we think it's also important to be open to like a lot of new information and everything. So yeah, that was kind of it.
That's good. Thank you. So I'll before going to the breakout rooms, I shared a big decision I had to make 4 years ago. So whether going to Australia for a job or going to Japan, or actually staying my job at the time, which was in London. And what I did at the time, it was very engineering, but I basically draw out all the pros and cons of each decision, like staying in London, going to Australia, or like going to Japan. And I made a kind of a product management spreadsheet, just giving different factors to the decisions, and then like weighted them so that I could have the final score at the end. And I realized that it was a good approach. Although it wasn't really cutting for for such a big decision that could really impact my life. And what really helped me was some of the techniques that I'm going to share with you now. So I just like to make another small disclaimer because it's come out. So like these are just you know, techniques that you could use, but then if you decide to make a crazy decision tonight, I'm not responsible. The women at IT is not responsible, and the women at AIT Health Alumni is not responsible. So I just these are just techniques that you could try out, but then I hope they help you. But that's a disclaimer. So the first technique that I'd like to share with you tonight is the navigating towards the growth edge. So usually when we're faced with a big decision, and I mean, making lunch is also a big decision, but a big decision like changing jobs or yeah, changing countries, etc., is that because we are also growing as a person, right? And what can help you is that to walk towards the edge of the decisions and walk towards that specific point in that decision that is really hurting you, and asking yourself what is the most important at risk. So for example, for me 4 years ago, it was you know, either going to Australia or Japan. But the most important at risk was actually my career path, because the job that I got offered were really different between each other, and I knew that if I had chosen a job, I most likely wouldn't be here today. So walk towards that most important thing at risk towards your decision. And then you can ask yourself, what is the hardest, best, and worst in each of the possibility? The hardest for me was, of course, being far away from a culture that I knew. Like in Japan, I had been to Japan, and quite frankly, I really liked the country, but I wouldn't see myself living there, for long. I mean, like forever. And ask yourself what's the best and what's the worst. And here comes the most interesting part, which is ask the parts in yourself. So as we're all women, like you may have realized that we all have that voice in our head that sometimes says, oh, you should do that, or you should do the other thing, you should have said that, or you should have answered to the email. And it is important to pause, and you can do this in a meditation setting as well. And it's important to pause and understand whether it's your conscious yourself that is talking, or maybe it's the fear that is talking, because the fear doesn't want you to change job, or it doesn't want you to go for that opportunity that is actually helping you to grow. Or maybe it's the ego that is talking, and it's your pride, and actually you're just chasing something that society is telling you to chase, but actually maybe you don't really want it. And also pay attention to your feelings and your actions and your body reactions as well. Like body language is all science, okay, but then maybe you know, put yourself, for example, 2 pieces of papers with one decision in front of you, and just say which one you're more you're leaning towards. For me, it was at some point I also did that. Like I wrote down Australia or Japan. I was like, which one? Like, where is my body telling me to go, kind of. And so you can do this kind of listening to the different parts of yourself and try to understand if whatever you're thinking is actually conscious, or just your subconscious, and your anger could be talking as well. Maybe if you're just thinking about staying in a relationship or not, it could be that your anger is talking on, or just your comfort zone. So you could do this in a meditation setting, and then after you kind of identified the different side of you that are talking, you could also journal and write it down and just say, I'm thinking this. And maybe 2 days down the road, when you pick up what you wrote, you just realize that wasn't me writing, that wasn't myself speaking. It was actually the anger talking, or it was actually fear talking. And you can try to show compassion to your parts, acknowledge them, because fear is there to protect you, and the ego is also there to protect you. But you can acknowledge them and show compassion, but also understand that you don't need them to go forward, and you can just perhaps identify 2 or 3 steps that can help you unfolding your decisions. And it could be actually reaching out to someone, to a professional, or it could be actually thinking about the decision in a different setting. And I'll show you a bit more in the next slide. So some other decision-making tools that some of you also have shared with us tonight is to expand your perspective. So pretend that you're not the person that has to do this decision, and pretend that, for example, you're a witness in the situation, or pretend that you're a total stranger, and how would you go about it? That's a step that you could take. You could also you could also just hold it, and that's something that also Obama is mentioning in a few of his books when he had to take the very important decisions about geopolitics. Sometimes he just slept on it. So just take a night of break, just do something you enjoy doing, and the next morning, just fresh, just see how you feel about the decisions. Because sometimes just taking a break and just stop overthinking or just playing the movie that we have in our head, it's just what we need, and then we can think about the decision in a fresh perspective. We could also take a stand and think about the decisions in terms of our value and what we stand for. So if I value something which is compassion or kindness, or basically love for others, then I would go for a decision that aligns with my value. And also you could listen to other people, as many of you already mentioned, trying to get the advice of people or mentors who have been where you have. And of course, that's very important. But before doing that, it's also very important to understand where you stand, and that you reach out to the people who actually have been where you are. And sometimes I've been there, I've been asking for advice to tons of people on the same decision, and people have different opinions, and everyone is giving your opinion, and then it could also confuse you some more. So ask for help, definitely, but also has to be targeted, let's say. And the most important one that actually really helped me a lot is the future self. So imagining yourself 50 years from now, when you are 75 or I don't know, and imagine what type of life you want, and what type of person do you want to be, and what would you want to be remembered for, okay? And based on that, try to walk backwards and backcasting to the decision you have to make today. And how would you be happy, for example, to have left your family or have postponed to have a family, for example, because your job was super demanding? Or would you regret, for example, not having to go for a more prestigious role? I don't know. For me, for example, for my decision, I knew that the career paths were very, very different. And at the end of the day, I wanted to work here for the European Union. And the type of experience that I would have gotten in Australia was more closely aligned to what I'm doing today. Even though Japan would have been an amazing experience, I'm not going to deny that, but you never know, maybe for another time. And very important, and many of you have said it, stop second guessing. So we effectively keep spend more time second guessing about our decisions. So when we say, oh, we should have done that, or we make a decision and then like we keep thinking, oh, but what could have happened? And what I said to my group is that, of course, after I made my decision to go to Australia, I did spend about a year, a bit less, to just second guessing. But at the end, now 4 years later, I'm positive that I made the right choice. And also, I think that comes with the confidence as you grow as a professional to say that you've done the best with the information you had at the time. You have taken that decision with the information you had at the time, and that's the best possible outcome that it could be. So if there is one takeaway that I wish you to take for tonight is to stop second guess. And you can maybe write it on a post-it and put it next to your computer screens. But yeah, even for example, when I write an email and then I'm like, oh, but maybe I should have said something different. Now I'm like, no, it's just a waste of energy, and just a waste of your thinking process as well, your thinking capacity. And another framework that I like to mention for tonight when making decisions is actually to orient your life map. So I don't know if you have a life map, but basically what I put here is a kind of 4 cornerstones, or like 4 cardinal points of your life. And it is professional, personal development, and is your space to grow for like your career and you as a person. And it could be your relationship. So what do you want from in your relationship, like friends, family, partner, who is important for you? It could be also your network as a professional. I also put lifestyle. So what type of lifestyle do you want? Where do you want to be? I mean, maybe some of you already know that they want to be in a specific city, and that's already, it's already a very important point in your life, and you know it's non-negotiable. For me, for example, is I'm sure that I don't want to drive a car, so for me that's a non-negotiable, and everything I make is towards having a lifestyle that allows me to not to have a car. And I also put finances, but it could be that for you, spirituality is very important, or making an impact is very important, or community work is very important. You can put it there. And trying to pinpoint what you know about your map, your life map, that you know that you want. It could be that you really want a car, so it could be that, and trying to work around the rest. And an exercise that I like us to do then is, I'm not sure if you've done it, but is to check your compass and do the wheel of life. So basically that's the wheel of life, and it's pretty much everything you have in your life. You may notice that some actually wedges were already in the map, but is your time and energy and how you spend it with your family, friends, love, fun. Could be your hobbies as well, your finances, again, your health, your growth, personal growth, etc. It could be spirituality, it could be there, it could be community. You could change the names as well, and your work and school. And now I'd like you to take pen and paper. Then I'll explain the exercise, but then then we'll move into breakout rooms so that we can do it. And basically you draw your wheel of life, and then you color the different sections based on how you feel about that specific section now. So for example, are you happy with the time and quality you spend with your family? Are you happy with the work, with the time you spend at work and school, etc.? We're just going to be doing it. And then I want you to take another color and color where do you want to improve the most. So now I think we can move into the breakout rooms, and we can do this in a small group, and then we can come back, and if you want to share that. And then once you think about what you can improve, then connect with the specific decision you want to, you have to make. So you know that you want to improve your time and your performance at work and school, then how can the specific decision can connect to this? So if we can have the breakout rooms for maybe 7 minutes. Okay, great. Yeah, it's such a pity that when we are in the breakout rooms, then you don't have the slides anymore. But I hope it was clear and we can do our Willow life and then we can discuss if you want. Oops. Has anyone done the Wheel of Life? Would anyone wants to share? Or I can start actually. So mine is actually I don't know if you can see here. I put it quite very small, but okay. I think I've put that I like to improve on the growth side and a little bit on the work side and the family and friends. But then I'm quite happy with my finances and my fun, which is my hobbies, etc., extracurricular and love life. I think I'm quite happy. And also, I mean, I think we have to be realistic, and then of course we love to have everything, but we have to be realistic and see actually where we could improve. let's say.
Well, maybe I can go next. Actually, mine is not in a paper, but in a board. You can
Oh, that's
see it because I
fantastic.
have exactly. For me, I'm pretty happy with my family and work actually, and fun, friends, and I would like to improve though my health and exercise, especially, and my love side and some growth as well. In this case, that's the main regions where I would like to work for now.
Thank you, Liana, for sharing.
I can share too.
Yeah, Rocio.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh yeah, no, I can wait. I can wait.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So this is how
Wow.
much.
Wow.
And the thing is, as you see, because I am still having some health issues, I am working a lot on the health side, and that's why health is like this. But financially, it's very bad. I would like to improve it really significantly, and the love side is, yeah, it's very little in the moment. Friends is okay. I even through Corona, I still have a lot of friends and contacts, and that's nice. Maybe I would like to see them a bit more, and project-wise, I mean, I would really like to start doing something. I mean, project or work-wise, yes. That's why that is in the moment very little, but I would like it to grow substantially too. Well, in a realistic way, I cannot do huge projects in the moment, so I have to be a bit careful with that, with my energy and how I really use the strength and energy I have now, which is not that big, but I would like to do something with that. Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to share very quickly before we go back? Eva?
Yeah, I haven't. Mine is very like, I don't know. It's not even the same as you asked for.
Oh no, I mean, like, it can be you,
But-
you do other things. You can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like I'm satisfied with the fun, friends, family.